Hi, I'm Brandon. This is the other 167. We started the sexual immorality series, and this is part 3. Okay, so I've never tried that before. I love that sexual feeling. Okay, now we've gone through a few basics in the previous part, and I said that sexual immorality and fornication are synonymous words according to Scripture. Sexual immorality is any sexual act which is done outside of marriage. Okay, now I'm also referring to a sexual act which is done inside of marriage. For example, say if you're away from your spouse and you have the desire to have sex, or you have the sexual urges and you want it to be met, and you stimulate yourself in the absence of your spouse. You may be thinking of your spouse, but you stimulate yourself, so you touch yourself. That is also a sin because it's outside of marriage. You may be married, but your spouse is not involved in it. And so now we'll get into the depth of all of that, but any sexual act which is done outside of marriage is a sin. Now you must be wondering, you must be saying, but don't I have these urges? Didn't God give me these urges? And why do I have these urges on a daily basis? And why am I like so engulfed in in having the urges to want to have sex every time? Or why do I get an erection? Or why am I stimulated? Why in this sinful world we always come across triggers and things our eyes perceive that actually excite us, or they entice us, so you have these feelings, then these questions are normal. These questions should be asked. Now the thing is, we live in a fallen world. We live in a world where everything is corrupted, everything is horrible. You go on Facebook, and you have your own friend in your life who would have dressed very shabbily, who would have dressed very immodest, or in a very ungodly way, and and a lot of other things that we see even at workplace, and the way people dress up and or whatever, and our eyes as well. We should control what we see. uh, uh, there's always a stimulus as to our sexuality, and it's a problem. Okay, and so we love that which is temporary. We love that which is deceitful. We love that which is uh, a lie. We love that which is a compromise. We love that which is a very dumbed down version of what God actually wants to give us. So what happens is, now the main point is inordinate affections. Okay, under this subject, I've never tried that before, so I never tried that before. I love that sexual feeling. Oh, I would love to try that. Let's see how it feels like. Now, what are inordinate affections? Any kind of sexual feeling drawn towards something which is not the will of God, which is outside of God's plan, which is outside of God's design for human sexuality, is an inordinate affection. For example, same-sex relations, even a strong sexual, it's called evil concupiscence, like a strong sexual urge in a certain sexual act. Say, for example, if I can be very blunt and specific and a little colorful. Now, we know what is oral sex. There's a word for it, BJ. But oral sex is I'm sure a lot of us can relate with what oral sex is. Now, uh, we don't find details as to what these things are in the Bible, and certainly BJs and all of these things are not mentioned in the Bible. So now we love that, and we watch it through pornography, and then we want to try it, and then it becomes an idol, like in our life. Like it becomes like the moment we hear it, we go crazy. We can't think rationally, and then we love it and love to the point that we want to try it out with someone. We want to try it out in real life. Firstly, we're addicted to it, so we watch pornography, we watch different forms of it, and then we want to try it out in real life. And then when we meet someone in real life for marriage, the first thing is like, are you into that? Do you like that? Can we try it out? Or you're curious to know if that person shares the same fetish or whatever that is. And what happens is these become evil concupiscent forms in our lives, or urges, or things that we develop affections towards, and that's a sin. That's an inordinate. That's not God's design. So you have to break free from those things. It may be hard for you to accept it at first, but you have to give it away. Now, I've tried that before. So what the devil essentially does is he always likes to entice us, and he always likes to give us a curious mind. They say curiosity kills the cat. So what happens is, the devil is he's very, very sharp. He's a mastermind in terms of deceiving people. He's the mastermind of deception. If you think he's not, then you are lied to, right? He's the mastermind of deception, and what he does is he gives us a curious mind. And when we have a curious mind, he can actually ensnare you in such a way that all that you look at, or everything that you see, or everything of your thought processes are centered around that particular thing. You can't, it ensnares you, it governs your thinking, it governs your body, and so you act on that later. You want it to be fulfilled. So what happens is, curiosity is a very, very very powerful tool that the enemy uses to trap us or to ensnare us into sexual sins and different kinds of sexual sins. So that's the evil one's voice. I've never tried that before. Let me try it out. Let me see how it feels like. I'm curious to know how it feels like. And all these forms of curiosity are usually developed through different sinful acts of ours. For example, pornography, or even if you're in a relationship and you're not married and you get physical with your spouse, the other person is as sinful as you are. So, or they are as much living in sin as you are, by virtue of your getting physical. And then they throw in an idea, or they say, have you tried this? Have you tried that? So two sinners coming together and practicing a sin is actually messed up, right? Because they'll both complement each other. They'll both rather complement each other in a bad way, to keep sinning and to keep, going down that destructive path. So Colossians chapter 3 verse 3 says, "Mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry." So sexual sin, when it is glorified, when it is exalted, when it is weighing you down, when it is destroying your life, is actually an idolatry. Is an idol in your life. It's idolatry, right? So curiosity. So the enemy plays along with our minds. He messes up our minds. He gives us a sense of curiosity to sort of try things, and then those things become inordinate affections. Anything which is inordinate is not planned by God. It's outside of God's will. It's not God's plan for your life, and it is a compromised sexual feeling, or a release, or a sort of a way to get yourself release or discharge your substance, which is outside of God's will for your life. So I hope these videos are helping you, and we'll look forward to having you in the next video. Thank you.